Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. Today I am going to discuss how to solo travel. I'm going to talk about 20 solo traveling tips that I have picked up along the way. I will be making a 1-part video and a 2-part video so you can get every detail. I know you're probably thinking, I can't solo travel. I promise you, you can get started. I'm gonna ease you into 10 tips to get you started solo traveling. So come along with me, write it down, take some notes, and let's plan your solo travel trip. First tip is you are in for a treat. And what does that mean? That means if you have decided to go solo traveling, this is not going to be a one-time thing. This will be a reoccurring thing, I promise you. I was super intimidated when I went on my first solo trip, but with the preparation and getting all of my ducks in a row, per se, it was the best experience ever, and I crave going solo traveling all year round, and you will too. My second tip into solo traveling is start small. You hear me? Start small. You know, you're looking at the TV or your cell phone and you're like, what does she mean by start small? Like, what? That's exactly what I mean. So, if you live in a big city like I live in or near, Tampa, pick an outdoor event, go out to eat, do a little hiking at the Hillsborough River, maybe go skating at United Skates. Do something by yourself. Honestly, how I got started when I first moved to Tampa is I went to the beach by myself. I know going to the beach by yourself should be a crime, but I would cry all about it. I would write it on my Facebook and my Instagram like, man, will somebody come to the beach with me? But over the years, you have to just rely on yourself. Not everybody's going to be available. So take advantage of that. So start going to the beach or go do a day trip to Orlando. Even a theme park would be a very good start because you're going to be around the people. You'll learn how to navigate on your own. So that's a great start for you if you want to pursue solo traveling. All right, we are on tip number 3, and that is to save and plan your trip accordingly. I know you're wondering, what does she mean by save time and plan your trip accordingly? Well, when it comes to a solo trip, you just can't plan something super duper quick. I'm sorry, that's just not gonna work out in your favor. So what I mean by save time is make sure you can get off of work, make sure if you have pets, you can find a pet sitter, let your family know what's going on and you're thinking about planning a trip. Then once you get a destination that you would like to travel to, then you're gonna have time for research. Cannot stress enough. You got to do your research, especially if you're just getting started solo traveling. When I say do research, I mean how I do it is I go on YouTube, I type in the destination I'm going to, and see if any other vloggers have been there. I try to do research on the internet on things that I would like to do, how the town is, what the temperature is gonna be, how to pack accordingly for that trip. All that comes into play with time because sometimes, you know, everybody's busy. Everybody has a job these days. Everybody's working 2 to 3 jobs these days. Make sure you put some personal time into researching where you are going so you won't have to run into any other problems whenever you go on your solo vacation. The 4th trip, once you have everything planned out and you get to your destination, keep a digital journal. When I mean keep a digital journal, or you can handwrite it, I just like technology, so it's just easier to do a digital journal. But just write down things that you saw that were interesting. Write down the places that you stumbled upon, or the places that you visited and you planned in your trip. Just write down, did you like it? Would you recommend it to another solo traveler? Would you recommend it to your family if you do a family vacation? Just jot things down. I mean, even if it's a monument and you're hiking, okay, I seen the palm tree with glitter all around it, and I hiked 2.5 miles from it, so on the way back I gotta make sure I find that palm tree with the glitter around it. Little things like that will definitely help you during your trip. My 5th tip is make sure that you are in good health. Okay, do you have to be in perfect health? No, because what kind of world do we live in that has perfect health? I mean by check your health status. Make sure you are up for the solo trip, because remember, you are by yourself. You don't have anybody to hold your hand. You don't have anybody to call 911 if something happens. You have to make preparations. You've got to know your own body. I would do a checklist on medications. Make sure you pack all your medications. If you have asthma, make sure you have an extra inhaler. If you have sleep apnea, make sure you pack some melatonin. Anything that's gonna make your trip worthwhile and stress-free. If you're traveling in high elevation, you gotta think, oh, am I on blood thinners? Is this right for me? You have to take all that into consideration. Are your lungs in good health? Because I'm sorry, if you're going to Colorado and you're going to be hiking in the Rocky Mountains and you've been a smoker for 30 years, can you handle that? Especially if you're coming from somewhere that's low elevation. Overall, it's always good to have a yearly checkup just to make sure everything is okay, so you won't have to run into problems or get sent to the hospital on your solo trip. So that's a big thing to keep in mind. We all want to stay healthy. And also with COVID going on, make sure you don't have COVID either before you get on the plane. Just be safe and make sure others are safe around you. Tip number 6. This is a very important tip. Please, for the love of God, please tell your family or a close friend, if you don't have family, where are you going? Just in case an emergency happens or they got to come to the hospital, you fell down a cliff, make sure you let your family know where you're going to be located that day. Even if you check up on them in the morning, but saying, hey, I took a tour bus to Kilimanjaro or wherever, and I think it's going to be done by 12 o'clock, in the daytime. I'll let you know once I get back to the hotel. Little things like that to keep up with, your family is going to be super helpful, and it puts your mind at ease when you're solo traveling. Tip number 7. If you are solo traveling and you're going to be using credit cards or your debit cards, let your bank know that you're going to be traveling so they won't shut down your credit card. I mean, how embarrassing it's going to be when you're at a restaurant and you've been wanting to go to this restaurant forever. You have it in your itinerary. You get there the first night, you've done all the activities you wanted, you are craving this restaurant, and then you get there and your card is denied because the bank has a hold on your credit card because you're in a different state. Make sure you let the bank know that you are traveling. Just a courtesy call. It'll take about 5 or 10 minutes to get to a representative. Make sure everything is good to go so you won't run into any other trouble. Tip number 8, have common sense. I repeat, please have common sense. I know that sounds super awkward, super funny, but having common sense can save your life, especially if you are a brand new solo travel. Have you heard of spidey senses? Yeah, they're real. Always trust your spidey senses. If you're walking somewhere and you feel like somebody is watching you or following you, they are. So make sure you get into a public place. I mean, you can slip into a McDonald's, you can slip into a bookstore, you can slip into a strip mall if there's a strip mall around. Blend in so you won't feel like that person is following you, okay? Ladies, please be safe. I always carry pepper spray with me. I have a flashlight taser thing that I bought off of Amazon, and I always keep it on me just in case something happens. Just be alert and be aware where you're going. Don't try to, go to a nightclub by yourself late at night at 3 o'clock in the morning. Don't leave out of your hotel at weird hours of the night. Have common sense. Know that you are trying to make it to the next day. Think about that your family is thinking about you while you're away. You don't want to stress yourself out, and you don't want to stress out your family. So all I ask is if you just have common sense about your surroundings, things will be okay. Now, don't ponder and be like, oh my gosh, something's going to happen to me. Because when you start thinking things like that, something will happen to you. Just know that you're on vacation, but you got to think smart at the same time. Tip number 9, learn how to take your own videos and pictures. Remember, you are by yourself. There's nobody to hold that camera. There's nobody to videotape you. So maybe go on YouTube and learn how to videotape yourself, learn how to take a picture of yourself. And some other tips that I will tell you is bring a selfie stick and a tripod. I solo travel, I always bring a small tripod. I bought it off of Amazon for maybe about $15.99. I put my iPhone on it, and that will save you the embarrassment of, hey, I'm by myself. Letting everybody know that you're by yourself. Can you please take a picture of me? When you got that tripod, girl, you set that tripod up and you take your own videos and your own pictures. You don't have to ask nobody. You can set it up the way you want to. You can get them angles like you want to. Because I'm sorry, whenever I ask a stranger to take pictures, they just don't know how to take pictures. The angle's all wrong. They snap it too quickly. And make sure you always bring a clicker. This is my best friend because you can start videos, you can end videos, you can take your pictures, and you can keep on going about your day. All right, and we have made it to the top 10. And the top 10 is travel early, get in early. I repeat, travel early and get in early. What I mean by that is try to book your flights, pick up your rental car, book a hotel to check in early, because you don't want to be traveling at night, especially if this is your first solo trip. You're going to a different state. I haven't been out the country, so I'm not quoting on countries. That's a different ball game. We're just here in the United States. But if you go ahead and you book everything early, I mean, personally, I love catching planes at 9 o'clock, 10 o'clock, and then getting to my destination by 12 or 1 o'clock or however you want to go. But I try to do that in a good time so I will feel safe and I won't have to feel rushed. So if you get to your destination around 12 o'clock, you can pick up your rental car at 1 o'clock because it usually takes about 30 minutes for them to unload and then get your luggage and everything. Pick up your rental car and then just go ahead and check in at the hotel. Usually hotels will do 2 o'clock, I believe is the earliest, some hotels. And I've seen some at 3, but the latest is 4 that you can book a hotel to check in. So start early, and when I say end early, if you have plans for that day, make sure you end them pretty early, because think about it. If you're somewhere for 3 to 4 days and you're only there for 3 or 4 days, you're gonna wanna get up at 4, 5 o'clock, maybe 6 o'clock. You're gonna wanna start your day early. So if you end your day early, you'll be able to wake up early. And plus, if you're at a hotel, you get that continental breakfast. So, and I'm all about food. So yeah, make sure you get into your, hotel or Airbnb or wherever you're gonna be staying. Get there early so you won't pick up any type of traffic that is, gonna be around the area. If someone is kind of watching you, they see that you're kind of crashing in early, just make sure, your surroundings are good and get into your place that you're gonna be resting your head on. All right, YouTube, thank you so much for watching my video today. If you don't mind, please like and subscribe to my video and my channel. Please tell your friends and family, anybody who is thinking about solo traveling. And next time I will be posting part 2 of my tips about solo traveling. So I will see you next time. Bye.